Good morning, everybody. This is a grumpy old guy gaming, and if it seems like we're coming a bit earlier than usual on the Wednesday morning stream, you'd be 100% correct. Finally feeling a bit more like myself. It's been, it's been a bit of a run the last couple days. But I'm not going to complain. I'm happy to be feeling better, happy to be feeling more like myself, and as a make good for being kind of invisible over the past 3 or 4 days, really wanted to get out here this morning and make sure that we got. Wow, I'm just not thinking at this moment. Make sure we got a little extra long stream in for everybody today. Pardon me. It's been a little less than a month for since the last time I streamed Fragment. Of course, I do uploads every weekend. I try and do a Fragment Friday. And I try to do a Weekend Warrior as well. I've been thinking about cutting that back to every other week, but I don't know, it's been kind of fun doing those. I think I may go ahead and switch up the characters a bit more frequently, though, between my Blade Master and my Long Arm. Of course, by now I was talking about starting to get my PS2 set up, and that's on hold because my son inadvertently sort of cracked my upstairs TV. And I've been a little hesitant to just go out and replace it. Need the money for other things at the moment. Didn't really have money budgeted for things like that. So the PS2 project is on hold for the moment. Okay. All set up. Do apologize, I'm falling a bit further behind than usual. That's weird. That link didn't quite work correct, so I'm not going to bother. I say let's just get into it. I've got StreamYard up. I've got Fragment up. Gotta turn my controller on. Head online, and first goal today, the lucky shoes for my long arm. I'm also hunting Spear Core Mark III. So if we pull the lucky shoes, or if I get tired of failing to pull the lucky shoes, we may switch up to my Wave Master and go back into that dungeon. I just featured it on a recent Fragment Friday. Logging in we go. You see my long arm up to level 33. I do have the ultimate spear. Pulled that in a recent video. I believe that was a Weekend Warrior. So let's see here. We've got Crab Server up. We've got Hongik up. For a while, yesterday, I believe Cold Rain was up as well. Dow had two versions of Hongik up. So we've got plenty of options as far as a farming server goes. Logging into Crab. Check the old items out. Yeah, we're in pretty good shape here. Do a quick status screen. See, I'm well above statistically because I've got some ridiculous gear for a level 33 adventurer. Promise I'll stop coughing at some point here. It's just a little bit of dry throat. Go to my warp history, and that right there is level 27 light field. Another dungeon I've run previously on uploads. This will take me to a dungeon where you could acquire either the Lucky Shoes or Silver Knight's Sword. The most direct path takes you to the Lucky Shoes. And no, I didn't suddenly learn to speak Japanese. I believe this one is left intentionally in native Japanese for the Japanese players around, like Crab General. We've seen a few others pop in here and there. And then Hongik, of course, is translated into English. That's saying shortest path Lucky Shoes. Picking up some Afghans and some rigs same. Saves time on a buff for us. So I just have to hit rig game. I've dropped my attack buffs for now in the quest for better gear. Forgot which shortcut was actually my attack. Went with a multi-hit fire attack there. Treasure just popping out of nowhere. An Eagle Hood. And some Summon Thunder. Always good to get the Summon Thunder. Go Lightning this time. So I like to not be caught out of position, as it were, with my long arm and blade master. And since in canon these are three aspects of the same PC, just different phases of that character's life, I always set up my attacks to have a magical attack involved. So Jiru Cruise is my L2 and X shortcut here. Now if I run into a physically tolerant monster, I can just blast away with spells. Also do try and have Deck Torv or some Knight's Banes on hand as well. But you could see L2 in circle is Ryo Tempest. That was the lightning attack I used, and GVAC Vortex was my L2 in triangle. Wasting my buff time talking about that though, so let's get back in. That was quick. I like that about the lightning ability. It's quick, and with long arm abilities you usually get that long drawn out animation, which looks fancy, but isn't always the most helpful. It is worth noting that even though I'm only picking up 2 experience off each of these, I'm still picking up 2 experience off each of these curse blades. That's pretty tangible. It will add up. I believe I was a little over halfway to the next level when we looked at the status screen. Something to the effect of 547 experience at the start here. Saw my rig same and rig game wore off there. So we want to finish this one right quick and in a hurry. Went 6 for 6 there. And while we're waiting for battle mode to end, get rig game and rig same back up. As usual, I will be replenishing buffs at the start of every new floor. At least every new floor I need to. As with a good deal of these farming dungeons, I want to say the bottom floor is minimal combat, if not no combat. Turns out I didn't really need to replenish it there. I'd sort of forgotten my place in the dungeon. Pick up some App Ryo and App Anide. Get that speed boost. And since we just cast, you know what? I said I was going to do it. I'm going to do it. Don't know how I missed that. Missing App Torv, I guess. Nice thing about not having the boosts is I could go ahead and put a heal spell back up, and I have Foul Rep thanks to finally upgrading my headgear. Not that it's really needed. I suppose the old rep I had was more than sufficient at my current hit points. But having that full heal in the eventuality that I'm playing with higher level characters in my party isn't a bad thing to have. All about the support play here. Saw that Curse Blades healed back to full in that little window of time that we weren't able to hit. We got stuck in place waiting for that little attack animation. Ion Strike, Jasper Halbergs, Summon Thunder, ×2. Six for 6 on the GVAC. Keep going with the hot hand. Pun intended. That time 5 out of 6, but that really isn't bad. I mean, if you liked 2 out of 3, 5 out of 6 is definitely got to be up your alley. Just zipping on through here. Got a couple Summon Thunders actually. Into floor 3. This is our bottom floor. And it's saying, you know, shortest route to the shoes. Only got a few rooms to go here, so we're hoping our buffs hold out. Time is definitely on our side when we drop 6 in a flash. Thanks to the old Ryo Tempest. Which is a neatly worded ability. I'll show you what I'm talking about here when I get to the statue room. Of course, we won't get that all portals cleared message that you're normally looking for in these dungeons because we're taking the shortest route. That little side room is a dead-end corridor with another combat, and we're going to be flat out skipping that. Pick up that ion strike and the virus crystal. That means we are at our destination. Okay, big money, no whammies. Sleipnir. Sleipnir and a couple light cross. That is the expected pool. So, I also have Jiru Doom if I really wanted to replace Jiru Cruise and have 3 physical attacks. But I like having that magical one for insurance. This, of course, is a single target attack. This is a multi-target attack. And Ryo Tempest says, slash parallel to the ground, range increases with level. So you can actually hit at quite a distance with that thing. At least that is the implication once you get leveled up. Ocarina back to the start of the dungeon. And for those of you who are new to farming dungeons, nice thing about fragment, it's a little bit different than infection, mutation, outbreak, and quarantine, is that as soon as you exit the dungeon, the entire dungeon resets. All the monsters and the treasures, including the statue room. So we're going to pop ourselves back in. Pick up some Apcorv and Korma, boosting our physical and magical attacks. And away we go. Nice thing about that is we're now dropping the curse blades in one shot. Rare to get a room where you take down 8 enemies and nothing drops a chest. Fortunately, we had those 2 chests right at the end of the room, so we knew we were getting our payoff nonetheless. Not that it's really necessary to squirment on every room here. Another great thing about these farming dungeons is if you're surviving, you're profiting handsomely. I usually go until I start hitting that 99 item barrier. It's most likely going to come up on resurrects. That's just silly. Quick shout out to the host of the area server, Snownami. Not only thankful for him having this server up and available for us to play on a daily basis, but I also want to point out that it's one of the first people I knew who was streaming these farming runs. Again, I haven't been playing this game a super long time. I got into it last August when I found out that, it was still around. I sort of forgot this was a thing for a little over a decade. And then lo and behold, .hack fragment still here and being played. On the second floor here, But Snownomi does a fairly regular Twitch stream. You should check that out. He does a lot of Dead by Daylight, does some Rocket League, occasionally plugs in some Pokemon too. That's always fun. And used to watch him running Fragment, farming run after farming run. Something frequent visitors to my little corner of the old cyberspace here. Probably sick of hearing by now, but I'll stop saying it when it stops being true. Fragment community, best gaming community I've ever been a part of. Top to bottom, so many friendly faces. Weird thing to say about people that 90% I haven't even met. But they're just cool people. They're the kind of people you really want to talk to and hang out with. Which again kind of fits perfectly with this game, because there isn't a whole ton of story. There isn't a whole ton of anything. It's, hey, you free this evening? Felt like running some dungeons. Yeah, okay. Then you go in, maybe you find a rare one of you were looking for. Maybe you get in some interesting discussion. Maybe, just maybe, you find an event. Just moving right along here in the old second level. I would say the unsung hero of this level has been Apcore. Taking down these cursed blades with a somewhat increased frequency. Got some rock dragon, tribal robes, summon thunder, and a forester helm. Nice little variety pack there. In the third floor, Apjuka and Apkorma. This is a fun farming dungeon to run. One, because it's not super high level. You could probably take this out with a party in your... I would say in the teens as far as level goes. And it's only 3 floors. So it doesn't eat up a ton of time. Of course, as far as the farming dungeons go, Snownomi hosts this one. Dow, like I said, hosts Hongik University Station. Dow lists themselves on Discord as Dow Fragment Help, which is certainly true, but to a further extent, if you're doing just about anything .hack related, it seems Dow, in one way or another, has had a hand in it of late. Especially VR chat. They've been doing a bunch of 3D rendering for VR chat. Got another Sleipnir with a yellow candy and a rainbow card. It's always fun to watch when they get to work, too. Somebody will mention they're looking for an item or something. All of a sudden, Dow hops on. They're like, give me a second. And they start looking up what possible boards the item could be dropped in, mentioning the enemies that you may potentially face and everything. Super helpful. And that's not an exaggeration or an example pulled out of the air. That was a personal experience. over 2 so far. Picking up some rig same and app juka. So again, saving us a little time not having to cast rig same. We'll just get rig game up and get to rolling. All finished there. Not used to seeing the fortune wires below 80. Something that's pretty exclusive for me to the farming dungeons because I tend to top off at the end of every run I have. So you kind of got to run 10 floors to have a shot at using, 15, 20 fortune wires. Unless you're running a custom dungeon that's just chock full of battle. Yet another thing I don't talk enough about lately. The custom dungeons. There aren't a ton of them around. There haven't been many made of late. I do know Vector has a bunch on Arcadia Pi. And if you scroll way up to the top of the in-game BBS, I believe they were nice enough to list them all out. I know there are a couple others floating around as well. Spooky just recently got his servers back up on a more permanent basis. And there is a Halloween-themed dungeon in Azure Dreams. One of my favorite runs in my fragment time was the first time I got to run that. And, well, we have yet to get the lucky shoes, but we did just get level 34. All of the relevant perks that come with. Which is actually going to be a sip of vanilla Coke. Breakfast of Champions. Lava Man Spear there. Ooh, I almost went for Fairy's Orb. It's a farming dungeon. I'm going straight forward. Don't need that. Pulled rig Sam out of another symbol. So this time we're at least saving a little casting time. See, our up Korma wore off. Been picking up a lot of good equipment here. Again, if you happen to start a guild and you're looking to, get that shop stocked up, you can pick up a bunch of the more common but useful items. Maybe do a bit of advertising on the external sources. Or maybe just have somebody in a purchasing mood come in and wipe out your shop because you underprice things slightly. Also seen a bit of that. That time couldn't really avoid any attack animations, but such is the way of the world. Speaking of, since we leveled, the Cursed Blades are now only giving us a single experience apiece, which, in all fairness, is more than we deserve at this point. We've got busted gear and a level that is far above them. certainly not a complaint. We'll take our experience and we will be happy for it. The true experience is the gear we loot along the way. Question is, what will I get first, 99 Resurrect or 99 Summon Thunder? Kind of a 50-50 shot at this point. More Rig Same. We pulled Rig Same out of a symbol every floor this run. Kind of a neat coinky dink. Certainly the kind of thing you can never bank on. Yet with the Sublime Stole, I feel like we kind of had that coming. Not arguing, because it saved us casting it this whole time. Not a big loss, but every second counts. Especially when I'm yapping the first 10 minutes of a stream. Last portal as far as we're concerned. And hey, I actually hit all 6 out of the gate. And dropped them too. Pick up an Earth Beast. Virus Core Q. Another Sleipnir. And a recovery drink. Nice. Okay, we'll give this one more run. I mean, we're a little over half hour into the stream, and that's 3 runs. Gotta be feeling good about that economy. And back in we go. So I don't want to get too much into how I've been feeling lately. I will just leave it at not well, and very thankful for the well wishes I've received. It's nothing serious, it is something persistent. And that's really all I want to say about it. I'm feeling a bit better this morning, which is why I'm here yapping in my chair before sunrise. But some other things going on here. Got a couple projects in the works. On a personal note, finally got my back porch set up as I've been hoping to get it set up. Have a little relaxation slash dining slash gaming area out there. Got some chairs and some tables. My teenage years, we lived in a small mining town, and there was this sort of makeshift table, kind of converted out of a wooden pallet and some spare lumber. And I used to have that on the porch, and made for a great card playing table. Could just keep your hand underneath the table on the bottom side of the pallet. I've kind of been missing that feeling. Haven't really had a porch set up since I moved out on my own years and years ago. And we were getting the back porch done here at the house and just sort of said, yeah, this is the time. Mrs. and I talked about it. Her aunt and uncle live next door to us. Just so happens they were getting rid of some end tables that had been kept outside, and we ordered a few chairs, Got a nice little dining setup out there. Could also work pretty well for a card game. Just use a couple end tables for each player. Each player gets their own little table, and would make for a great D&D session. I have an old dining table upstairs. It was actually a gift. My buddy Rob, rest his soul, used to have a game shop, and when he got new tables, he gave us one of the old tables from the shop as an early wedding present, and that was our sort of kitchen/dining table for years. We just replaced it last year. We got a pool dining table. So it's kind of up there in storage, and I could use that if I wanted a bigger table out there for a session. But honestly, I think it would hold fine anyway. Pooled rig game here. More things that I've been up to that nobody asked for, but I will blurb out here as well. Recently started playing Dot Hack Enemy. Picked up some starter decks. Have some boosters too, but I really wanted to get a feel for the game before I did any deck augmentation. Down the line, that's going to lead to a couple of creative endeavors. My initial impressions of the game, very positive. It's actually a blast to play. I love playing card games, I really do. Been kind of soured on war lately because my darling son may be the sorest loser I've ever seen. And it just never goes well when we play war. Either I win and he swears that the universe is out to get him, or, I'm losing and he reminds me of it every 3.5 seconds. But I guess that's part of youth, taking the little victories. He picked up really quickly in war that your overall success is largely dependent on having aces readily available. There's my 99 resurrects. So if you had the resurrect square in the resurrect versus summon thunder option, you are the big winner. Help yourself to a chicken dinner. Always fun when you get like 2 or 3 chests spawning at the same time and the little chime is just increased in volume, has a real punch to it. There's 99 Summon Thunder, so we weren't far behind on that one. Not far behind at all. That means that a large deal of these chests just aren't going to be redeemable. It's a lot of money we're just sort of throwing out into the ether there. More Apjuka, that's been a fairly popular one here. And we'll just roll with what we got because it's floor 3 and we can do that. Big 6 for 6 drop. Thanks to the App Corv, one-shot drop in those remaining Curse Blades. Little one-shot dropping and our one-shot stopping. Earth Beast, let's see if we can finish off these 6 in 1. Well, we could have had I gone 2 steps further and actually made sure I was hitting everything. But that's just as good. It's the old parents' generic cereal argument. It's just as good. It's the same thing. 9 times out of 10 it is. Sometimes it's a little better. There are the occasions where it's not, but I don't want to get into that. One more time. It's a Sleipnir, a yellow candy, and a recovery drink. Let's head back to the pay window. Back to the server, refresh ourselves, dive in for run 2. If we're unsuccessful in run 2, maybe switch it up. If we are successful in run 2, definitely switch it up. So the hidden beauty of the farming run, even when you don't win, you don't lose. There's my backup. I may have mentioned it a couple times, but I do keep a little spare gear on myself for the Spring of Mist and for offline trading. And online trading for that matter. Bit over 1 million. Going to be buying a few items, but nothing of great expense. Yeah, that's a tangible sum of gold. You know what we're buying here? We're buying Sprite Ocarinas, buying Fortune Wires. Chewed through 54 of them, folks. 54 Fortune Wires. Isn't that something? Gotta buy some Speed Charms here. Speed Charms here. Actually, that wasn't bad at all. Just 8 of them. 8 Speed Charms. That's it. As an old co-worker of mine used to say, that's it, Fort Pitt, John Wayne, Indiana. So we're 0 for 4 on the runs, but certainly not the worse off for it. Let's dive back in and take another shot at these lucky, lucky shoes that have so far danced out of our grasp. We'll say my back's a little tight this morning. Didn't have the best night's sleep. If you've come to hear me complain like a grumpy old guy would do while gaming, that was your segment of the stream, and I hope you enjoyed. Ooh, at backs. Not sad to see that. That's going to increase our fire attacks damage. So we may be using that a little more exclusively here in the first floor. Oh yeah. Always good to see. Always good to see. Listening for that little treasure chest chime going off. Always good to pick up more Summon Thunder. Summon Thunder is our friend. It pays us out at the end. Also a decent little consumable scroll if you know you're going up against some high-level darkness baddies. Just trap chest after trap chest after trap chest. Whole ton of risky business in this room. Of course, it ain't so risky when you come in with a pouch chock full of fortune wire. That's just a very lucky bundle. Summoning some thunder before we go down to the second floor. Rig same, and out Vorma. Time to speed charm and Rick Geem. Well, we hit our usual 6, just not in the usual pattern. Looks like we're going to get at least one more room out of that boost. That was an untimely miss there. Not a dire matter for us, but it was a couple extra seconds gone there. That's more like it, a quality 6 for 6. Drop in 2 and drop in 2. Ooh. Stunned right in the middle. Looked worse than it felt, but it was kind of a neat thing there. Just stuck in place while the Cursed Blades did their thing. Always feels like the second floor goes quick. I know the third floor goes quick. That is by design. See, I would have had one more shot for that GVAC tornado, but I noticed one of our buffs wore off, and I thought it was the fire one. Turns out the fire one wore off as I hit my shortcut. That's okay though. That boost served us very well. Got us through 2 full floors of this dungeon. Once again, 5 out of 6. It ain't bad. It's better than bad. It's good. Also want to throw a big thank you out to the misses. Last night we did our usual Diablo 3 stream, and my wife was nice enough to take the lead on what little talking was going on. Again, just wasn't feeling up to it by the end of the night. At least made it through the workday. But so big thank you for her. We got through a ton of stuff last night too. Playing Torment 4, we should probably step that up a bit. But we did 2 normal rifts, a greater rift that we just demolished. I think we took that down in like 6.5 minutes. And then a full set of bounties, all within an hour. I was happy. Rick same, and Corv. Still haven't found what we're looking for, so back in we go. Got Corv up, so it's an overall attack boost, but not when we're facing the wrong way. I mean, it is, but we can't really, you know. Here in the old spaceship, fragment exclusive thunder field. First time I entered one of these, I thought it was a modded field. I'd never seen one before, and especially when you go outside and look at the, desert background, it's just... Get a message from Emu's Random Randomness. Hey Emus, how you doing? He says, may the Twilight Dragon bring you luck on your journey for the Shoes of Luck. I've done that before. How about, may your Nikes be self-lacing? Thank you. Do appreciate it. Hopefully your day goes well. Assuming workday is about to commence, you are probably en route there in the not too distant future. Do appreciate you popping in though. Turns out you've really stopped chasing these things after you deal lethal damage. They're not going any further. About to head out shortly to the work indeed. Got a pretty fun day ahead of me. The boyo gets a little grandparent time, and I get my first dose of the vaccine. So good times all around there. I was going to pop a fortune wire, and I held off because I didn't notice that risky treasure there. That was a nice quick room. That's the way we want them to go. Just had yours Saturday? Yeah, it is a relief. I got to admit, we had gone down to the barber's a couple weeks ago, and the poor guy, he and a couple of his friends had got COVID right around the holidays there. So he had just hit his 30-day period when we stopped in a couple weeks back after the vaccine. And the man was overjoyed. He kind of sounded like a walking commercial for it. But it was great. And of course, my son being at the age where all information is the greatest information ever, was soaking it all up. Probably the most still he sat in that barber's chair in about 4 years. So it worked out overall. I will be happy to get it done myself, if only to say that's one more thing out of the way. Another nice thing about the Ultimate Spear is it's got Spirit Drain. Definitely useful when all the abilities are 50 SP. So, Emus, any fun runs lately while I got you here for a moment? I know I've been sort of absent on the running scene, and I do apologize for that. Hopefully I can get back into the swing of things. Barring any sort of work-related emergency, I should be there for tomorrow if you guys are still planning on running. Virus Core B, nice and high in the alphabet this time. Another Sleipnir. And back topside we go. Oh for 6, but in a pass-fail test, fail is only the second best news you can get. Ah, skill drain +2. Thank you. Emu's checking out the big book of stats, which is great because he knows I'm a baseball fan and all the stats in the world are just the right amount for me. AppVax and AppGans. So count on a whole lot of GVAC Tornado out of this guy. With our Ultimate Spear. Or should I say penultimate Spear, since I'm still looking for the Spear Core Mark III. Yeah, I'm going to start calling it the penultimate Spear. Hopefully nobody thinks that's a separate item in game. And if you do inadvertently run for a penultimate Spear and find it very difficult to get, that's on me. ran with fried eggs on Friday. Almost ran with Naka. Oh, that would have been amazing for you. Finished the last Carmina run on single player. Giant teddy bear data bug. Yeah, I kind of geeked out when I ran that with my Blade Master. Not gonna lie, multiple family members may have been called into the room just to check that out. Wow, even with the boost up, we left a couple living. Just sloppy work on my part. That's a lack of professionalism. The teddy bear data bug. Still on for Thursday? Awesome. Count me in. Again, barring a work-related, you know. And I can't really rule that out because yesterday was almost one of those days. But again, that is work, and I am certainly not there at the moment, so I'm not getting into the details on that. But it was not a progress positive day overall on either the business or social aspects of my work life. Ended weird. Ended very weird. Also, I'm not making any promises, but I do have a project in the works um, for a fragment of the net slum. Hoping to have it finished up either today or tomorrow. Not going to tell you which project. It's one I've mentioned previously, but again, it should be coming your way. Unless I forget how to share things on the old drive again. I forgot to put the buffs back up. It's floor 2, not floor 3. Thought I was making better progress than I was. Oh, I'm entitled to a senior moment until at least my third cup of coffee. I haven't even got cup 1 yet because I was running a little further behind schedule than I thought and just settled for a can of vanilla Coke. Very well. And thank you. I will try and make the content worthy of the praise. And for those of you who are looking for some excellent guides showing you not only how to work the tele patch, but also the optional patch for the English grunty food, go check out a fragment of the Net Slum. It is a YouTube channel that is going to be dedicated to fragment content and serve as a bit of a hub, chance for you to check in on a one-stop shop for all of your favorite fragment contributors and uploaders. People like Snownami and S Foremost. Emu's mentioned Naka, who just did a fragment stream the other day. I'm assuming he had his Peach Butt server up. Such an awesome name on that. One nice thing about taking a while to put those buffs in, I know they're going to last a good bit into floor 3. Just noticed we have a thunder buff. How did I miss the app Ryo? I could have been doing that Ryo Tempest this entire time. Turns out reading the screen helps you understand the screen. Tolarian Community College gag there. Last portal's upcoming. For us, at least. There, of course, is one room we're not touching this morning that's just sitting there going, hey guys. Left like the poor princess in Dragon Warrior. That's a fun retro fact I didn't know until about a year and a half ago. If you speedrun Dragon Warrior, or even if you're just looking to play it for fun, you don't actually have to rescue the princess for the end game condition to be met. You could just skip that part entirely, leave her guarded by a green dragon, and go save the day solo. Not the way I go about it, because that's a side quest. You gotta complete the side quest. Plus, she sort of works as an on-the-go locator. She's basically your GPS for the rest of the game. After you rescue her, Princess Gwaelin. Guess that would be the first dragon quest. I noticed Dragon Warrior, that's what it came over in the West as. But I remember watching a speed run of it, and the guy just completely skipped the princess, and I'm like, oh, okay. Will this be the run for us on Lucky Shoes? Just mowing down the Curse Blades. Now got App Corv and App Ryo up. Here a chest spawning right behind us. No risky business here, just more thunder summoned. Alright, I'm going to finish up my prep work. I'll keep the stream open and watch in the background. Best of luck. I agree, you have to save the princess. We will talk soon. Like I said, I hope your day at work goes well. Hope you're doing well overall. And do enjoy your Wave Wednesday. Emus, for those of you who may not know, member of the translation team, has worked on the graphics that you see up ahead, the battle mode on and off. Also host of the Shining Darkness server. Floor 1 down in no time. Once I remembered we could actually use App Ryo to our advantage, that was kind of a game changer there. Picked up some Rig Geem there, so we only have to cast Rig Same to keep it refreshed. Definitely not mad about that spread. Hit 7 of the 8. There's 99 Summon Thunder. I don't even think we hit 99 Resurrect yet. So that's 1 apiece on the first to 99 battles. That means we'll be netting another cool near $250,000 just from that item slot. So yeah, the money will find its way to your wallet in these farming dungeons. Also inching ever closer to the halfway mark on the fortune wires. Appario just wore off, so we're going to switch back to Givac Tornado. Although we are starting to see that range expansion working out well. That or else I'm really finding the sweet spot as far as my footwork goes on that Ryo Tempest. Just chucking Summon Thunders into the Netherverse there. Five out of 6. We'll take 5 out of 6. Always nervous about opening chests while other monsters are going down. I've had a few too many instances of hitting the button just as a risky treasure pops up in front of you. It's a good 6 out of 6. Look at all that Summon Thunder we're not carrying, and that was dumb. Facing the wrong way. On the bright side, we have 1 more fortune wire than we had. Another commonly used sentence of my son when coming up on a risky treasure, he goes, "I like taking the risk." Tried explaining to him that the fortune wire is only 10 gold and that anything you'd be pulling out is going to cover the cost of the fortune wire. But you know, kids. Risky treasures, this time with fortune wires. Just that easily, you could not blow yourself up on the dreaded Sleeping Blue Mimic. Do believe this is going to be our do or die run for the Lucky Shoes. That's 8 quality runs we got in there on it. So whether we get it or not, we'll be switching characters and switching dungeons here. Probably switching servers too, because I believe I've only run that on Hongic. Sleipnir and a light candy, a yellow candy and a light cross. Yeah, apparently after 8 of these you get to just make up your own items. So 0 for 8, and the search for the shoes goes on. But hey, not a bad run. Certainly a profitable one. Getting far more out of them than we're putting in as far as gold value of consumables. And not for nothing, but we're about halfway to level 35, so we got darn near the full 1,000 experience. Even though the last bit of that was 1 at a time. Yeah, 99. Yeah, 247,500. A skosh more than the typical run will give you. Only 47 fortune wires that time, though. Again, I was kind of a schlub and blew myself up on that one chest. Take full responsibility for that, because it was my fault. Kind of tough to shirk the blame in a solo run, but yeah, only 8 resurrects. I'm okay with that. That gives us 90 in stash. Think we're good on the rest. So let's go ahead, pop out for the old station identification break. Can't tell I'm a big fan of listening to baseball and football games on the radio, can't you? Logging out here. Out here in the world. Take a look at my online mail. So many emails. Awesome. I really got to get back in the habit of using the online mailer. Again, it's 2021. We know there are more functional and efficient ways of sending messages from A to B. But to me, this is like the letters to Santa box in the mall. It's nostalgic and it's just fun. And no, I don't write a letter to Santa myself every year. My son does. I think it's safe to say that I do too many farming runs. I sort of get my own gifts. And if you've ever heard my language on some of these runs, I'd be on the naughty list anyway. Heading into Hongik. Server by Crab, translation by Dow. Body by Jake, and away we go. There's a reference for people. Status on Dionysius. We're up to level 62. 62! Got the Staff of Truth. That's going to be big for us here. Especially with Yarthkin's Fa. Do a quick item check. Make sure we are primed and ready to go. It's looking that way. And yeah, we're just going to be casting a ton of Yarthkin's Fa here. So L2 and Circle will abound. Go into our warp history here. You can see we've got a few options. Yeah, that's the one we want. That's the Lucky Shoes. That's the Guild Crest. Maybe the other Guild Crest dungeon? I can't quite remember. Guild Seal, sorry. But this is the one we want. It's a level 70 fire field. Hop in. Spear Core Mark III. Grab this nearby symbol. Apjuka! Pulling the heck out of that Apjuka. Actually comes in real handy in this one. So we're just kind of making our way through the haze here. Charred, scarred landscape. And into the dungeon we go. Refreshing bluish-green interior. Out in the middle of a reddish-orange wasteland. Wood Maiden. Thanks to Dow for translating that. All the information we will ever need. Out of items binded for that shortcut. Oh no. I completely forgot to buy new Hermit's Blood and Wizard's Blood. So we'll just be running this on Speed Charm and Speed Charm alone. That's okay. We get Rig Game and Aptorv. Aptorv, not a huge gain for us, but Rig Game's going to be huge. You get a whole bunch of the shaky screen here. Apologize in advance for that. Also going to be picking up 7 experience pop off these Wood Maidens, not apologizing for the least in that. And because I couldn't go a day running my long arm without that joke right now, Happiness is a level 50 spear. Not one I'm currently using on my long arm, but doesn't make it any less true. Picking up some Inferno calls there. Always fun when they all fall to the middle there. Ooh, a not so risky business. With a Hellstorm. Get a nice distanced view here. This is farming in the life of luxury here. No muss, no fuss. Just dropping rocks as a Yarthkin's Fa do. Battle mode starts, and it's over as soon as they turn their attention to me. Eventually we're going to miss one of those and I'll look dopey calling it out ahead of time. Fortunately, I come in already looking dopey. So now who's the joke on? Oh, still me? Okay. Big old drop there. Elemental hit for over 6,000 damage. Don't know why I'm thinking, oh, I done did it to myself. Just wasted an Emperor's Soul there. Ah, well. You have these things when you're clicking buttons and not really reading. Picking up a pair of Inferno calls. See? Told you there'd be one. And like a schmuck, I missed them. One thing I didn't mess was how risky that treasure seemed to be. See if we can get back on our 4 out of 4 ways here. There we go. Rig game's worn off, so we're going to be a bit more cautious on our pacing here. As Yarthkins is costing us a cool 110 per cast. Certainly a wager we can cover, but we don't want to burn through our Artisan Souls as, you know, though they were water. So we'll take a moment. Let our mana regen do the work for us on that. Sorry, skill point regen. Big old drop there. If you are in a situation where you need to regen a little, just move in short bursts. As long as the game reads you idle when it goes to, you know, regen your SP, it's going to give you the full value. If you're moving, it's going to give you half. So it sounds dumb, and again, it's not the most efficient way to play time-wise, but if you are low on consumables and you're trying to get through in a timely fashion, just those little stutter steps. Got full, got full. With speed charm up, you're still covering good ground for the time, so. Got a decent front view of that wood maiden. I should be pulling screen caps out of this for Snow. Snow's been doing a bit of 3D modeling themselves. Think maybe post-stream I'll do another one or two of these runs. Get some good caps. Pick up the Fool there. Run a low on speed, and we've got some time to kill to get our SP up anyway, so let's go ahead and do that. And down to the second floor we go. Not going to be so worried about beginning of the floor re-upping the speed boost, just going to take it in stride, and whenever the speed boost wears off, pop one up at our earliest convenience after. Well, that was dumb of me. Didn't wait for the 110 that time, so I had to pop an Artisan Soul. That's okay. Worked out well. See if they'll all fall down to the center here. Yes, they will. We are standing in a pile of fallen wood maiden. That time they all fell facing us. That was neat as well. Yeah, you get to appreciate the little things on these runs, like the death animations. Though there's not too much to wood maidens, they just sort of fall over. Some of the animations are just silly, like the stone turtle, the little controlling turtle on top of the giant golem turtle just runs away. From some camera angles it looks like the golem crushes it. It actually does get away though, so we found out, and then an unfortunate twist. It did so in a dungeon and ran straight off the edge and into the abyss. So spared one grisly fate for another. If you were looking for the kind of dork who goes around making mini backstories for monsters' death animations, you've once again come to the right place. Get a fairly close-up view of Yarthkins in action without the old shaky cam. No treasure chests popping up there. Picking up an Inferno Call and a Fire Lion hood, though. That's cool. See, this dungeon's actually a little involved. Bit of a winding path to it if you hadn't seen the previous upload. Still a winding path if you have. I don't know why I qualify it like that. Yeah, it's good to move on. Probably going to be popping an Artisan Soul here just in case it doesn't work. Don't want to get stuck in that area where you could be put to sleep by a wood maiden because you were too stingy to use the consumable. C1 survived there, and we could just quickly throw a second Yarthkins out while it's on stun lock. Got a level up there. We're up to level 63. crazy. Actually getting a tangible SP pool for our big, large Wave Master. Statistically, really the worst build you could have for a Wave Master. And we're still pulling 7 a pop off these Wood Maidens. Did it to myself again. Did not give myself the extra couple seconds there. That's okay. We made it through. Picking up some Sprite hands to go with some Inferno calls. Only one set of the Sprite hands, but as they are gloves, I feel it would be mentioning that they are a pair as well. For those of you who are worried that we're picking up our gloves in the singular. Or maybe you are, since it doesn't really appear cosmetically in this game. Maybe you're pulling the old Michael Jackson look. Picking up some Apcorv and Rig Same, keeping our hit points full here. Time to re-up that speed charm. Not sad about that, as it gives us a couple extra seconds to get some SP back. There we go. There we go. 28 more to the pile. Miss on the front right Wood Maiden, followed up by an elemental hit, so at least an emphatic make good by Yarthkins there. Of course, we can't really blame Yarthkins for the spell missing. That's just luck. Got another Paraportals room. Picking up some divine speed there. Heavy blade weapon. Big ol' sword. Ooh, almost to the Sprite Ocarina there. Wouldn't that have been a waste? Get the whole way down to the 4th floor and not get to the treasure room. Pick up a stream sword there. No, this isn't the all clear. We're looking for a similar room but turning down, so we've got at least a couple more rooms ahead of us here. Go ahead, take a minute, let the SP regen. Four for four, good to see. Two risky treasures, also good to see, as the game isn't really going to worry about us using risky treasures for the purpose, using fortune wires for the purpose of our skill point regeneration. Sure enough, by the time we loot everything in this room, we're at 164 SP. This should be the last portal of the dungeon. Or else my name's not Orville Redenbacher. Turns out my name's not Orville Redenbacher, but got stuck in a sticky situation there. Bad time for a miss, I'll tell you that much. Left just shy of the cast, so we had to pop that artisan soul. I guess we could have probably survived against one wood maiden even if we were put to sleep, but just not worth it. Pair of Inferno call. Virus core. Get an H this time. Let's see what we pull out of the chest. Guardian Blade. This one's accompanied by a Divine Cross and a yellow candy. Make our way back up 5 levels. Take one more crack at this and then we'll probably call it a stream. Always good to see Korma and Rick Game pop up out of the buffs. Definitely not sad to see either of those with a Wave Master. And this again, big difference between Wave Masters and most other classes. I see a dungeon full of Wood Maidens. I've A, got to switch weapons with my Blade Master, and B, got to hope for some really lucky hits. Also have to be very careful about how many portals I have active. Long Arm doesn't stand a chance. Wave Master has been running this like crazy. In fact, has been running this since the upper 50s in level. I want to say I was 56 or 57 when I started running this. Now up to level 63 and still pulling good experience. Ooh. Treasure chest there. Hesitant to hit the circle button as I couldn't really get the chest in focus, and I didn't want to waste more time nearly killing myself or cursing myself to get a fortune wire. Kind of jumped the gun on my timing there. Still more than enough range in Yarthkin's Fa to cover the whole deal. So there's a little bit of wiggle room on this one. As you can see, our elemental hits with the level up are just over 6,500. Of course, that could be in a large part due to the app Korma as well. So, You know what? I just realized something. It's not that I'm out of the Bloods. It's that I had switched, and I had never switched my shortcut. I am a doof. Because I had gotten rid of the blood for the magical accuracy, as my magical accuracy was at 97 last level. And I don't see the difference between 97 and 99 being all that great with a, weapon that is far higher than I ever should have at this level. Thanks to Doran again for that. Nice enough to trade me this after pulling it out of the statue chest. Wow, the rare double miss. Fortunately, this wood maiden very patient, just standing there letting us get it right. That's the kind of training you need as an up-and-coming wave master. The kind of monster that's really going to be like, no, really, you should kill me with this spell. Now that we got our confidence back up, take the 4 for 4 there. No treasure there, but did we really deserve a tip for having to cast Yarthkin's Fa 3 times to drop a wood maiden? I would think not. Go ahead, get another one up and going. Did the job in the second cast this time. Probably the longest continuous stream I've done in a while, at least. Certainly the longest in 2021. It's going to give the fragment at 15 stream a run for its money. That one was a blast, helping set up a new player. Getting to talk with a couple notables in the community. I believe Dow, Spooky, and Stein all popped in at various points that day. If I remember correctly, there was also a sighting of the elusive Chris P. Glutes on that day. Fun times abound. Moving to the 3rd floor here. Picking up some Rig Game and Ap Korma. My faves. Speed Charm wore off. Let's go ahead and get that up while battle mode is off. Could just see a little bit of blue poking up out of the corner there. Definitely some risky business going on. And we pick up a Resurrect. Wow. Totally didn't notice it standing there. You'd think the big green bar above its head would be a good indicator. For some of us, that is a good indicator. Yet I feel my golf game is an adequate descriptor of my awareness at times. Turns out they mow the grass lower at the part of the course they want you to hit the ball in. I, however, am a fan of hiking in the woods, so I just hit the tar out of the thing and find my way into heavy rough. Miss golf. Actually haven't gone in over a year. Last year was kind of a lost year for me doing things. Didn't even start this till August. First half of the year was just working home, basically. But here we are now. World slowly trying to get itself back in order. Well, if you heard that chime in the background and noticed that that last Wood Maiden only gave us 6 experience, we leveled up again. Just keep pushing onward here. Definitely not mad about 24 experience per portal, though. And we're only in the 3rd floor, so we're going to get a good lead in to the next level here before we leave. This will be last run of the day, though, coming up on 8 o'clock here in the Eastern time zone. Do have to get on with my day. Keep jumping the gun on that portal, don't I? Yarthkins, as always, a generous benefactor on that. Picking up an Earth Staff there. Just a ton of boulders flying. Missed one there. Heard a couple chests popping up in the background. Both of the risky variety. Making our turn down to finish out this 3rd floor. Again, bit of an extended, now with the correct words, bit of an extended fragment stream. Doing some farming here on a Wednesday morning. Just keep those rocks raining down. Especially embarrassing when you miss the Wood Maiden you targeted. The other 3 fall, and it's like, wait, all those fell on me. But I feel fine. Wow, we missed a chest all the way back at the beginning there. It's risky treasure. What was I doing? Answer was not paying attention. Get some sprite hands out of the deal. We'll take that. And we get a chance for some SP regen. Not that it was totally needed. At least not at first. Floor number 4, picking up some Rig Geem and App Anite. So if we wanted to switch up to Rhyneck and make ourselves some toast in between battles, we could certainly do so. I'm going to stick with Yarthkins because of the elemental factor. Ah, the shaky cam. Get a good close up there of the Staff of Truth as well. Still need to see if I could track down the Caduceus rod. Caduceus. I'm gonna go with Caduceus. That feels better saying it. That's the one with the other 3 summons. This has, oddly enough, the only 3 I think I've ever used with this Wave Master: Vulcan, Rhynek, and Yarthkins. That means that Crake, Lancior, and Marrows are on the Caduceus rod. Just keep those rocks rolling. Now the battle mode is off, as it should have been the first time. No chests, because no tip for poor service. Picking up the Fool there. And an Inferno Call. Again, very patient Wood Maidens, giving me all the time in the world to reset and try again. Has not always been my experience with the Wood Maidens. They tend to scamper about on melee characters and then put them to sleep and raise trees up under their feet. Perhaps the farming dungeon Wood Maidens are of a more docile, contemplative bent. Perhaps this is a small subsect of Wood Maiden that feels the heroes really should get the last laugh. Perhaps I'm once again making backstories for monsters based on their death animation. Sort of a weird hobby to develop spontaneously, isn't it? Nothing of note there, so moving on to the next. Got a shortened corridor with only 1 portal to worry about, and only 1 portal is completely taken down with 1 Yarthkins cast, the way we kinda want it to go. Also the way we kinda want it to go, some bonus treasures, one of which is going to require a fortune wire. Getting a stream sword out of that chest. Taking our final turn down here. I believe that means 1 more portal to go. Should be in great shape for this by the time we get there. Should be darn near 200 SP. Did in fact cross over the 200 mark, so no worries at all about taking this portal down. We'll have 2 casts available. Just did tick over 220 before that initial cast, and we take care of it on the first. Got a Fire Lion hood out of the chest at the beginning of the room, and a Hellstorm out of the one that generated from the battle. Take a couple treasures here, Inferno Call 1 and 2. Had a feeling that was going to be a matched set. Final Virus Core of the stream, and it's a Virus Core D. Now, let's see if we pull the intended item. Do our slow RPG walk up. And here goes nothing. Guardian Blade. So Guardian Blade, an Artisan Soul, and a Divine Cross. But hey, we had some fun. We got in 10 farming runs today in 2 hours. All the while me yapping my head off. Do want to thank Emus for stopping in, checking out the stream, and giving us some enjoyable conversation back and forth here. Hopefully you all have a fantastic day whenever you get around to watching this. Take care, and we will see you around.